Boo. And brothers.
Jenny brothers. What's up?
I was just we were just talking earlier about how I fell off my porch today,
Yeah.
and I don't even know how it happened. And because I'm old and fat now, and I can't support my own weight, I couldn't even do anything about it. I'm like, I'm gone. I'm twisting it or not. I'm hurting myself. I'm hurt.
Well, at least you can land on your wrist, and like or break your wrists and jam your elbows.
So I landed solidly on my. It was the dumbest.
I'm sorry, man. I wish
That's
I could.
the second time. This porch is my nemesis because I fell up the porch when we were loading stuff and I spilled my coffee. Holy fuck. Yeah. So anyway, by the way, everybody, if you're watching, I don't have my glasses on now because I'm catching a nasty glare off my computer. This is the first broadcast from East Jordan, Michigan. So I know.
And it's the 55th broadcast from Chelsea, Sylvan Township outside of Chelsea, Michigan.
Nice. That's great. Oh, sorry, I get tired. So anyway, we are here today for basically unannounced because we haven't had a show in a while, and we thought we would do a quick check-in, and we'll be back to our regular Sunday schedule on the 16th. But we thought we'd just check in, say hello to anybody that happened to be out and about, and talk a little bit about the jam-packed summer of excitement that we have currently had. The brothers sisters have been busy. Brothers sisters have hit the road, and you've seen that. You saw some of our broadcasts from Denver, and the brothers sisters are again on the move because I have moved again.
She can't stay in one place. She's like, "Hey, come and live up here." I'm like, "That's you lived there for 5 years."
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's going to stick right now, if I'm being honest. And I'm only saying that because I'm tired and I hurt myself today. So,
It's don't make any predictions yet. It's just been a bad day.
It's just been a bad day. Yeah. But like I said, we have new to us furniture in our living room now. And they're actually starting to look like a house and a place to live. It's a cute place. We found a cute place up here in EJ. So
I was gonna say, Duncan says he have a great yard and a nice deck. So
it is. And Joe has put his what Duncan called it, a dunk tank out there. It's just cooling. He's got one of those little cooling tanks that you get into to relieve inflammation. So
very fancy.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
So should we broach the trip to Colorado with our parents?
Well, Jenny and I have what did Sam, your friend Sam, say, that aging parents are like 5-foot toddlers. So we got 2 of those.
Not to say that my parents are toddlers, but it was, and I thought they did well. I thought they, for the most part, like I said, on the way out, we had a good time. I mean, solid B on the journey. Yay to Enterprise Rent-A-Car, my cousin Jim, for helping provide us with a really nice ride out there. It was great. But we went out because our Uncle Norman, my mom is the youngest of 3. So it's my mom, or her oldest brother, Phil, then her brother, Norman, then my mom, our mom, the baby. And her middle brother, Norman, passed away in February. So we were driving our folks out for his memorial, which was Saturday, the 17th. Yeah. And so we had a good trip out. We had a good couple of days before we drove down to Salida, Colorado, because that's where the memorial was, because that's where Norman lived. And that's when things kind of went off the rails. My mom's oldest brother, Phil, passed away the morning of the memorial. Before that.
Where's the memorial?
Yeah, at the house where the memorial was supposed to be, and suddenly it was not expected. We don't know yet what happened, but I think it was probably a heart attack, and so that was a shock. And that Saturday we just dealt with the fallout of that loss, and had to tell Mom that her brother had passed, and that it was just a matter of dealing with that for the rest of the trip, and it was not great. So though we had a good Tuesday together, that Tuesday after the fact, it just kind of goes to show you how fast shit can change.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Actually, I was supposed to go to Traverse City this weekend to hang out with some Duncan's family. And Duncan's like, "You want to just stay home?" And I'm just like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah, it's amazing how little I did. Like that day we got back, we got back Thursday, and it was really nice just to, Duncan came and picked you up, and then I basically just, I don't even remember what I did that night other than almost nothing, And then the next morning I had to start packing to come up here, but it was really just nice. I had basically 24 hours of just solitary time, and it was because Joe came the next day to help get packed up for the move, but it was just, I needed that 24 hours where I just did whatever. I slept late, I drank coffee,
Yeah.
I cared for nothing or no one for 24 hours.
Basically, when I went back to work, my boss was like, "Oh, now you have to take care of people at work." I'm like, "Yeah, but they get on my table, they're really appreciative, they leave."
Yeah, and just, yeah, it's just, and the things, we're in that time where, we're seeing the deterioration of our parents and our loved ones, or the death of our loved ones. And it's just, you transition through, your 20s are everybody's getting married. And in your 30s, everybody's having babies. In your 40s, everybody's getting divorced. And in your 50s, like, everybody's parents are aging and dying. And it's like, and you don't really think of your adult life in that. When you're a kid and you're like, I just want to be grown up and I want my adult life. And I'm like, all I can tell you is no, you don't. You do, because I can go and get some chicken McNuggets whenever I want, but you don't, because there's just this raft of other things that just float by, and you're like, oh, I guess I have to deal with that now. I'm going to deal with that one now, and it's fine. It's just one of those things where you kind of learn to live with your 50-something life. And I understand middle-aged man on Saturday Night Live now. Do you remember that? Mike Myers would be like, middle-aged man, and you'd have some 20-somethings that would have some sort of problem, and then middle-aged man would bust into the room and help them solve it. I'm like, that's me, a middle-aged man. No, well, here's the thing about this is that you're learning to solve problems on the fly. It's like, when we were in Colorado trying to deal with everything that was happening, I'm like, we had made plans and thought we were going to do things. And then as everything evolved, we're like, no, now we have to do this. Now we have to figure out, we have to do this. We should do this. We should do this. And that's what we did. We just basically problem solved the rest of it. It's nice because we had a lot of help along the way. My friend, Sam, you're the best. You're still the best. I owe you. Yeah. And just that care of people that were, like, dude, that really sucks. Here's a drink. Here's some wine. Here's a place to sleep. That was good. That was the part that was helpful. Hi, kitten. My kitten Marla is with me. She's headbutting me for no other reason than it's 5:09, and she should be getting some. So, other than our disastrous feels like too strong a word for our trip that we took out to Colorado, but it was certainly not great. Oh, Lynn Brand, you are with us. And Lynn says she cannot understand you, Anne.
You can't understand?
I think it's your microphone.
Huh.
I can understand. Sometimes your volume's a little bit low, that's all.
Oh, here.
So. Hi, Lynn. We were just talking about our trip to Colorado, in which we did not have a good time. So there. And mainly the problem was that we went there for one memorial and ended up experiencing another loss too. So we had two. So I definitely have some emotions for my mom, who now has lost both of her brothers this year, and that just that fucking sucks. So, and to be there and experience that, especially with Phil, because she was close to Phil, So I was glad that she got to see him though before he passed and got to spend some time with him. So really glad. So, Anne, other than we've been back now for a couple of weeks. As you know, I've been transitioning up to East Jordan. And Anne, what have you been up to since we've been back?
I did some garden stuff because when you're gone for 10 days, your garden kind of goes to hell. So I did a bunch of garden stuff. I meant to get all my spring cleaning done before I left, and now it's officially summer. So this weekend I cleaned, like when I do my spring cleaning, I take everything down off the walls. I get rid of shit. I move everything. I wash the walls. I shampoo carpets. I mean, it's the whole 9 yards. So I did that with my study this weekend. So now it's all squeaky clean. Basically it's just been like just trying to like I feel like I'm all blocked up until I can get my surroundings back to a place where I feel in control, considering I have no control, which was obviously over our holiday.
Which we learned in the great state of Colorado, in case you needed that reminder. So,
So basically, like you said, it was just like I just needed some time where I'm like I wasn't taking care of anybody. It's been very superficial, if that makes sense. I haven't had to like think very far past what I wanted. Or if I don't want to think about it, I haven't thought about anything. In fact, I've been listening to this podcast that is complete trash, and I love it. It's called Digging Up the Duggars.
And I'm gonna put. Oops. All right. So I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna create. Okay. So it's a podcast.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening to it on Spotify, but you can also listen to it on Apple.
And that's about the, I can't think of their name. The ones with there's 19 and counting or 26 and counting, or the ones that, because before we left for Colorado, we were watching that trashy show on Prime, Shiny Happy People, which is also about the Duggars.
Yeah. So this is a young lady. Her name is Whitney. She watched the Duggar show in the late aughts when she was a teenager. Now she's in her 30s, and she's like introducing her husband to this. So they talk about each episode, and then she does a deep dive into their like religious beliefs or all this other family members. It's trashy and super fascinating, and it's like I don't have to think about nothing. I'm just thinking about this family and their craziness, So great. So Digging Up the Duggars, there's like 40 episodes, so I'm like blowing through it as I do, mindless work. So that's
right.
I haven't like done anything, especially like with the news right now. It's like if I hear one more stupid thing about what the trash on the Supreme Court does, I'm just gonna make me want to murder. So I'm like, so I just needed some working on my own crap and listening to, what do they call it? They don't call it hate watching, cringe watching. It's a cringe podcast because you're like, oh man. This young life, like I said, she's in her 30s. She and her husband live in Arizona. They're really funny. They have a cat named Mildred. So
I love that.
I knew I liked them as soon as they started talking about Mildred. I thought it was their daughter, and they was like, Mildred's sitting on my lap. She's purring. I was like, oh my God, Mildred's a cat. Oh, and they're both went to culinary school, and so they often talk about food, which is I'm like, yeah. So if you need something trashy and you're like, oh, I would never listen to that. I'm too good for that. You're not, so you might as well.
I'm all for it. I'm not above anything trashy. So speaking of Supreme Court, I actually have to tell you, I have actually loved this last couple of weeks because in the last couple of weeks in any Supreme Court session, there's a flurry of activity, and then you get to listen to large quantities of Nina Totenberg on NPR, who is my favorite.
Yeah, no, she should be on the Supreme Court. I think she's better than several of the judges on the Supreme Court.
I just want a T-shirt that says Nina Totenberg for Supreme Court.
No, I want a Nina Totenbag. Nina Totenbag.
Oh, Nina Totenbag, good idea.
I know, right?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know who Nina Totenberg is, Nina Totenberg is NPR's special correspondent for the Supreme Court. That's all she does. She just covers the Supreme Court. And the woman is just crazy smart. I mean, she really knows the law. She knows it well. And she does the most fantastic job of explaining the Supreme Court, explaining the rulings, explaining the thinking, explaining the happening. And I love it whenever they have her on because she takes you through what's happening. I love it when she does just basically the play-by-play of what the justices are saying, what the lawyers are saying, and what this justice said what, and the reason they said that is because what. And so, yeah, I'm literally, I don't know if this makes me a power nerd, but I am a Nina Totenberg super fan.
No,
and so,
one of the things that makes me so sick of the news about like conjecture. This is what happened now. We're going to spend the next 3 days on conjecture. Oh, this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen, or maybe this can happen. That's the thing I like about Nina. She doesn't do that. She's like, here's what happens. Here's how it affects people. Here's what, it's just like, I love listening to her. It's just like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, finally good news. Not, but I'm like, well presented news. So.
Yeah. So if you want somebody that is genuinely just a genius at their job, anytime Nina Totenberg is going to be on NPR, stop what you're doing and listen to her, because she really does help you understand what's happening. So speaking of the Supreme Court, this week was a kind of a disaster. And I think what it shows you, presidents do matter. When you consider like I can remember when Trump was elected and everybody was like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And really it never was. And it's because he was able to place three justices on the Supreme Court. And it is completely, what you have is a Supreme Court that now makes policy, which is a disaster. And it's only going to be more, right now it's a disaster on the social level. I think what people are missing, when we look at what happened this week with affirmative action, with gay rights, with the student loan thing, but we're seeing a shift. This is the social things that are going to change. What's coming next are the business things. You're looking at the end of unions. You're looking at the end of workers' rights. You're looking at the end of the middle class with the Supreme Court. And I think that's the looming disaster for me as a citizen. You're
going to lose your ability to hold corporations. You're going to lose.
Yeah, you're fading in and out again, and I'm not sure what's happening with your mic.
We have a storm coming in, so that might be it.
Okay.
So that might be screwing with our Wi-Fi, because we live in the country. So sometimes weather and wind can affect our Wi-Fi connection, so that might be it.
Okay. So I would agree. The ability to hold corporations accountable. It's Oryx and Crake. It's idiocracy. It literally is. It's really a fascinating time to be alive, because we are literally watching the fall. We are amidst the fall of the empire, because you have the checks and balances that are supposed to take place in our three branches of government are not anymore. And I do have some thoughts on the student loan piece, though. I have to admit, I don't agree with their reasoning behind blocking Biden's student loan debt relief, but I honestly have never been a fan of that particular program. I think one of the things that bothers me about some of Biden's debt relief plans are they don't address the underlying issues of student debt. You can hand out $10,000 all you want, and though I think people, especially students that have been defrauded, deserve that, I also think you have to look much bigger picture of where things have gone wrong. 30 years ago, this sort of student loan debt was not a problem. This is something that's happened since the federal government has become part of the student loan crisis. So, yeah, it was a bad week. It was a bad week. And again, people that will be most affected by a lot of these policies are the people that are supporting these policies. Again, completely, you're working against your own self-interest. Because these policies that they're putting in place eventually will affect everybody.
Exactly.
And the affirmative action one is near and dear to me. Though I was not a product of affirmative action in education. I most certainly was in the workplace. But I worked for consumers. I was an equity hire, and I was able to take that advantage and turn it into a 4-year position. But had I not been an equity hire, I never would have gotten a job there, and I never would have been able to prove that I could do the job, do it well, and keep getting hired back summer after summer. So I know how important that can be when you have people that are competent, that are really great at what they do, and will never get an opportunity to show because, they're not legacy. colleges can do all the legacy admissions they want, but now they can't look at race as one of those pieces. So, yeah. So fun. Oh, by the way, I'm still doing my thing with the Carla Hall thing, the favorite chef. I'm still in it for favorite chef. I made it to this is round 3. So, but I have to be, I'm number 11 in my group right now, and I have to be in the top 10. So I got to get a couple of places. So,
okay. You should post it again on Facebook so I can do it again.
I will. You can vote every day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so you should definitely post it again.
Okay, I'm just posting here that I'm still in it for favorite chef, but I need your vote. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. I don't know. The odds are against me, but that's okay. I'm not afraid to keep working.
It's very thundery here. I don't know if you can hear it, but I think it's most of the storms have either gone north or south of us. I think this one's going to go. Ooh, this one might hit us.
I'm going to look at your weather radar right now. Let's see. Sylvan Township, Michigan. We'll do a live. Right now it's just saying 75 and cloudy, but let's see what your thunderstorms are likely to continue through 8 p.m.
There you go.
Yes, I'm looking at your local radar. Yeah, there's a nice little cell coming at you. Yeah, there's. I'm going to do a quick share screen so that everybody can see what we're looking at. We're going to present, share screen. I want to go to Chelsea weather. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
There you are, a little blue dot, and there's 2 cells coming at. Look, there's that one and that. Yeah, you guys are going to get it. It doesn't look like it's going to be too terrible, but no hook echo or anything.
South of us, so that's usually what happens.
Nice. So that's fun. That's fun.
That's super fun.
It is.
It's raining. Duncan's got to close some windows because it's raining. This one right here is raining, and this one's I can feel it raining on me. Yeah, I can see it up there.
I was looking at Canton got hit pretty hard today, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah, a bunch of storms, like I said, either went north or south of us today. I could hear the thunder, but yeah, it's been raining and thunderstorming here since yesterday. So
nice, cool.
Busy place.
Actually,
did you guys know? Are you guys having? Since it is by the way 4th of July weekend. This is sort of confusing to me because 4th of July is on a Tuesday, so it's just kind of this weird. Is this 4th of July weekend? Is next week 4th of July weekend? Do we even celebrate 4th of July weekend?
I think both of them are July.
Are you guys having fireworks there?
Chelsea doesn't do fireworks. They have a 4th of July. They have a celebration parade. They had that on Saturday, but they don't do fireworks here. Kavanaugh Lake, I think, does fireworks.
A Crooked Lake. Some rich people who live in some of the lakes pay for fireworks.
Yeah, I was going to say some of the rich people on the lakes around us pay for fireworks, but we don't have an official firework.
Like Sturgis, they don't do 4th of July fireworks. They do Sturgis Fest fireworks. So I know. Yeah, cool. Hey, what do you want to do our next show on?
Oh, that's a good question. I was going to ask you that. I don't know. What do you want to do it on?
Well, let me see.
I don't know.
I think we're going to do it, because that's going to fall around the All-Star break, just after the All-Star break. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about baseball, and then we're going to talk about the top. I know these are not necessarily what you want to do, but I want to talk about the best baseball movies ever made.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean you have to watch a bunch of baseball movies. I have my thoughts. Of course, for me, one that probably mostly talking about League of Their Own because.
League of Their Own.
But I'm like, you've seen Bull Durham. That's another really good one. So.
Well, that's one of my favorite ones.
So. Your homework is to find 3 baseball movies that you really like, and I will bring my list of 86 baseball movies that I really like. I just feel like, we've tried to talk sports before, and, I do like me some baseball. That is left the screen because they're getting pummeled with rain right now. We can go back to the radar. The local radar, there it is. For those of you who wonder what's going on, that's the local radar in Chelsea. That's what's going on.
It's raining. And Duncan shut the windows halfway. I was like, oh no, we need to shut them all the way.
Well, because yours is coming up. I'm like tracking your little storm there, and it's those cells are kind of forming up. Yeah, they're gonna be pretty good size. They come together. Those two cells might come together right over the top of you. So that means strong rain.
Yeah, so it's like a car wash. Really like a car wash.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually been hot up here, really hot, like dumb hot, which is funny because it's not really, it's like 83 degrees, but for whatever reason, that just feels really hot up here. So, we have a comment. Heidi Gershbaugh says, hey gals, Heidi, how are you? We were just talking about the fact that you guys finally got some rain down in the lower part of the state. Not so much up here in the North 40, but someday. Yes, I planted my 3 tomato plants today. I watered them. Joe got me some Miracle Grow, Blue Aid, as he calls it. So, yes.
All right, so baseball and baseball movies. All right,
yes.
I've seen some movies with baseball in them.
Let me find out when the All-Star game is. So, National Major League Baseball All-Star Game 2023 will take place. Oh. Date. Yes, it takes place Tuesday the 11th. So we'll be a few days behind that. That's okay because the fun fact, there are 2 days a year in which no professional baseball team or no professional sports team plays any sports whatsoever. And those 2 days are the day before the MLB All-Star Game and the day after the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Other than that, there's some professional sport every day other than that. So, fun fact, dumb fun fact. Yeah. So okay. I don't know. I feel like we pretty much caught up. For those of you that missed what we were talking about earlier, we were talking about our trip out to Colorado. Some of you saw. We're calling it the Fun Tuesday of our trip to Colorado. We took our parents there for my mom's middle brother's memorial service, and then while there, we lost another one of my mom's brothers, which was not expected and basically sucked. So we had some fallout from that, but we've learned that things do change in your 50s, and your relationship with your parents may change when you're in your 50s as well. Yes. So anyway, you guys, we're going to be back here 2 weeks from today, which will be Sunday, July 16th. We are going to be talking about one of my favorite things, which is A, baseball, and B, baseball movies, because I love them both. And that's going to be hard for me because there are so many good baseball movies. And there's also a lot of really bad baseball movies. Angels in the Outfield, I'm talking to you. Okay.
I didn't know there were more than 3, so.
The Rookie, I'm talking to you too.
What else are you talking to? Major League?
No, it's called The Rookie. It's about a kid that he has something he injures his arm, and then when he comes back from his injury, he's like super awesome. Bad baseball movie. So The Rookie, good baseball movie. So.
All right. I'll have to do some, maybe I'll watch some baseball movies over the next couple of weeks. That sounds mindless.
It is. So, all right, where do I think you should start? Number A, of course, you rewatch League of Their Own because it's still my favorite. You should also rewatch Bull Durham.
Okay.
You should watch Field of Dreams.
Okay.
You should watch. Should you watch? Yeah. I think you should watch The Natural. I know. Sorry. Huh?
Is that with Robert Redford?
Yes. Not great, but I consider that to be baseball movie 101. You don't have to. Right. If you need something super dumb, then you have to watch Major League. That's the dumbest, most fun baseball movie ever made. The Sandlot is a blast.
I've seen The Sandlot before.
I love The Sandlot. I think that's a great movie. The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. That's a good one.
Oh, okay. Well, that ought to keep me busy.
Yes. Yeah, those are some good ones to watch. There are more, obviously, but those are, yeah. I always want to hate The Natural, and I always end up really liking it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, I should be hating this movie now because it's cheesy and delicious, and it is, and I still love it just the same. Yeah.
How can you go wrong with Robert Redford? So.
And it's just a good story. It's a good story.
Okay.
Ultimately that one is a fairy tale, is what it is. So, all right. Joe just came in with a new dining room table. So, woo! Close.
That was close. That was like right over there.
You should go look later once the storm passes. You should go look for tree parts because I bet you got a blown out tree somewhere.
Yeah, that hit someplace. Woo.
Yeah. All right. You better get off this computer.
Are you still recording?
We are still recording, and they just had a really close lightning strike.
Did you just lose power?
No, they still got power.
Okay.
I was telling Ann earlier about the amazing afternoon that we've had and how I hurt myself again.
Yeah, Joe. How can you let your wife get hurt? Man, you ain't a man.
Anyway, what was the line earlier? Jen texted me a couple days ago. She was like, "How do you get the dishwasher to work?" And I replied, "Tell her to get off the phone." Why me?
Yeah.
What they're doing.
All right. So anyway, 2 weeks baseball gets to work, and then also, and I want to revive the cocktail hour. So you're going to need to find a good themed baseball cocktail. Okay. Okay.
Is that like a beer that you serve in a bucket? Is that the cocktail?
You could do the beer bucket hat. That would be appropriate for a baseball game. Yes. So.
Foam dome. Foam dome. Maybe I will. Yes. Maybe I will, Jenny. And maybe I'm just gonna eat hot dogs the entire time because
that's great. You could. Well, that's one of the things that we could do. Is that I think what we'll do is we'll do a pairing of baseball and a delicious baseball feast that could go with it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Very good.
Now we're talking about stuff I like. Okay, cool.
All right. So, no, I'm going to get you into this one way or the other. There's something, that's the nice thing about baseball. We'll talk about why baseball is great and why it's dying at the same time. Okay. All right. Well, okay. It's not dying everywhere. Professional, Major League Baseball is struggling, but baseball everywhere else is doing okay.
All right.
We'll get there.
Americans can't do nice things.
No, they can't. We're too busy. All right. You take care of yourself. Don't get struck by lightning.
Okay, I'm trying not to. I'm going to stay inside. All right.
Peace out, everybody.